How many men live within 25 miles of ISU's GIS Day headquarters? Let's find out. There we have it, 61,899 in 1 minute and 30 seconds, roughly. Now, how in the world did I do all that sort of stuff? As I was working my way along, I wasn't really commentating what the heck I was doing. So let me back out, let me start this over and walk you through the same process. GIS is a very powerful tool. But of course, it may not be intuitive on how a person is supposed to use this very powerful software. So I'm using a piece of software called ArcMap. It's part of a larger package called ArcGIS, and it's probably the world leading, or definitely the world leading GIS software. So let me start everything anew here. I've cleared all the things that I've had selected, and let's go ahead and take a look at what we've got here. GIS is very much data driven, and if we're going to do anything with GIS, we need to have the data to do it. So what do we have here? In this layer list, I will start from the bottom and work my way to the top. I'm turning off a few things now, and what we'll do is we will begin by looking at this NAIP aerial imagery. That's the National Agricultural Imagery Program. It's aerial imagery, fairly high resolution, 1 meter pixels, that was acquired in 2011. My question was all posed around the ISU GIS Day headquarters right here in the Rendezvous building at ISU. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in on this dot, on this point as it's called right here. I'm going to use my zoom in tool to do that. And I'm zooming in here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer still, and we can see, start to see some familiar features. We can see Holt Arena, and indeed as we zoom in more and more, we indeed see the Rendezvous building, and this point is pretty much over the top of our event center room of World GIS Day here at Idaho State University in Pocatello. So what I did is I instructed ArcGIS to select census block polygons, and all those polygons that are within 25 miles of this point. So let's take a look at the census block data. I'm going to turn off the aerial imagery and turn on the census block, and we will zoom out one more time here. So this is all census block data. Census from the 2010 census updated for 2012. I have also added the cities with a population greater than 5,000, And as we zoom in here, we'll see additional labels turned on. And then we have just the outline of Idaho. So here we have some things that are familiar to us: Pocatello, Chubbuck, and Blackfoot showing in this map area. What's important for me to answer the question, though, is the attributes that describe the census block groups, or census blocks. So to take a look at that, I'm going to open up the attribute table. A couple of ways that we can do that. I'm just going to real simply here right click on the census block and tell it to open the attribute table. And we have a tremendous amount of data stored in here, some kind of software housekeeping type of things like this over here, some codes, federal codes and block group codes. All these FIPS codes may not be too interesting to us. And then we have some past demographics from 2000 and then 2010 and so on and so forth. Then we have the population broken down by race, all this U.S. Bureau of the Census data, by sex, males and females, and then by age. And it goes on and on and on. Age groups, and then median ages, the number of households, single male households, single female households, etc., etc. It just goes on and on and on. Tremendous amount of good data, and at the end here, just a little bit of some more GIS housekeeping types of data. But what we were interested in for this question was this field right here, or this attribute right here. So what I did is I first of all zoomed in to this area that I'm interested in, and I made a selection, and I'm going to use the Select Features tool, and I'm simply going to click on our headquarters. If I zoom in a little bit more, you'll see that I actually selected more than just our headquarters. I have selected the headquarters plus some of these census blocks that are around here. And that's just okay. That'll work out just fine. Okay, now we see that just our headquarters point has been selected. But what I want to do now is I want to select all of the census blocks that are within 25 miles of this point, and then find out the number of males that are within that in that database, represented in that database. But I'm going to use the selection tool, and I'm going to select by location. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select features from census block using the source layer of ISU GIS Day headquarters. There is one feature selected, so I'll go ahead and turn that on. There's actually only one feature point in here, so it doesn't matter if I have this selected or not, or checked or not for this specific instance. And the spatial selection method is we're saying that we want to find all of the census block data polygons that are within a distance of the source layer feature, which is ISU's GIS Day headquarters. And the distance that we're talking about is 25 miles. So if I go ahead and apply this or click OK, that query has been done for me almost instantly. 91 features have been selected. If I open this up and I scroll over, there's the males again, and now I have just the male, just this selected records highlighted and kind of floated to the top for me here. And now I ask it to give me some general statistical results, and there we have again the same 61,899 males that answered that question. So GIS is fast. Teaching it takes a little bit longer. But you're welcome to try this sort of stuff out. Come to GIS Day at ISU on November 20th. We've got some neat exercises and hands-on experiences for you. Things just like this, something you can complete in a couple of minutes or minute and a half, and just a lot of neat stuff for you to do. So I hope you have some time to join us.